In a world where kindness, empathy and compassion are often highlighted, the idea of not extending softness to everyone may appear contradictory. Nevertheless, Buddhism offers profound insights into this concept. Gautama Buddha, the enlightened sage who established Buddhism over 2 millennia ago, shared invaluable wisdom that transcends mere politeness. His teachings delve deeply into human relationships, inner peace, and spiritual growth. In this exploration, we will delve into Gautama Buddha's profound teachings and understand why it is sometimes necessary to move beyond softness and embrace a more nuanced approach to life. At the age of 29, Gautama embarked on a spiritual journey to seek answers to fundamental questions about human suffering and the pursuit of lasting happiness and inner peace. Following years of deep meditation and self-exploration, Gautama achieved enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. This transformative experience marked his transition into the Buddha, the Awakened One, and signaled the commencement of his mission to impart his profound insights to humanity. At the core of Buddha's teachings lie the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. These foundational principles serve as the cornerstone of Buddhism, offering profound guidance on navigating the complexities of human life. The Four Noble Truths stand as the foundation of Buddhist philosophy, providing a lucid framework for comprehending the nature of suffering and the journey toward liberation. Let's delve into these truths and uncover their significance in the context of transcending softness in our interactions with others. 1. The truth of suffering. Buddha's initial noble truth acknowledges the presence of suffering in the world. He understood that suffering is an inherent part of human life, encompassing physical pain, emotional turmoil, and the dissatisfaction that arises from constantly craving more. While being soft to everyone may temporarily alleviate some forms of suffering, it does not address the root causes of suffering. Buddha encourages us to confront suffering head-on, acknowledging its presence in our lives. By doing so, we gain clarity and insight into the nature of suffering, allowing us to find effective ways to transcend it. 2. The cause of suffering. The second noble truth pinpoints attachment and craving as the root cause of suffering. It's natural for humans to pursue pleasure and avoid pain, but our attachment to these desires ultimately brings suffering. Being excessively soft towards everyone can stem from this attachment, driven by a need for approval or validation. Buddha teaches us that releasing attachment and craving is the way to break free from suffering. This doesn't imply becoming emotionally distant, but rather cultivating a balanced and compassionate outlook towards others. 3. The cessation of suffering. The third noble truth brings hope by affirming that the end of suffering is achievable. Overcoming suffering is possible by addressing its underlying causes, attachment and craving. By letting go of our attachment to external validation or the need to please everyone, we break free from the cycle of suffering. 4. The path to the cessation of suffering. The fourth noble truth presents the Eightfold Path, which leads to liberation from suffering. This path includes ethical behavior, mental discipline, and wisdom. While being soft to everyone may appear noble, the Eightfold Path urges us to nurture discernment and wisdom in our interactions. It serves as a comprehensive roadmap for leading a balanced and purposeful life. The Eightfold Path comprises 8 interconnected principles. Right view. Right view entails grasping the Four Noble Truths and understanding the nature of reality. It prompts us to perceive things as they truly are, devoid of delusion or distortion. Applying right view to our interactions provides clarity on when to be soft and when to adopt a more discerning approach. Right intention. Emphasizing wholesome intentions and motivations, right intention guides use to act with kindness, compassion, and non-harming in our efforts to avoid being overly accommodating to everyone. It encourages actions driven by genuine care rather than seeking approval. Right speech. Encouraging truthful, kind, and mindful speech. Right speech urges us to refrain from harmful communication like lying, gossiping, or harsh words. While softness towards others may involve avoiding conflict through silence, right speech advocates for honest and compassionate dialogue. Right action. Focused on ethical behavior and refraining from actions that cause harm, right action aligns with the principle of minimizing unnecessary suffering. While being gentle towards everyone means avoiding harm, it also means not condoning harmful behavior in others. Right livelihood. Concerned with the ethical impact of our work choices on ourselves and others, right livelihood reminds us to choose occupations that do not cause harm and are consistent with our moral values. Right effort. Involving the deliberate cultivation of wholesome qualities and the abandonment of unwholesome ones, right effort encourages us to balance compassion with discernment in our interactions. Right mindfulness. Practicing full awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Right mindfulness helps us navigate social situations with clarity and equanimity, enabling wise responses. Right concentration. Focusing on developing calm and focused mental states through meditation. Right concentration enhances our ability to remain centered and composed, especially in challenging social contexts. The middle way. Often linked with Buddhism, the middle way embodies the idea of seeking balance and avoiding extremes. It promotes moderation and harmony across all aspects of life. In terms of interacting with others, the middle way advises finding a middle ground between being overly accommodating and overly stern. Gautama Buddha, in his own life, embodied this principle. Before his enlightenment, he experienced both indulgence as a prince and extreme asceticism, but neither extreme provided the answers he sought. It was only through embracing the balance of the middle way that he found enlightenment. When it comes to being soft to everyone, the middle way suggests maintaining a balance between compassion and discernment. It advises against both excessive softness, which can enable harmful behavior, and excessive harshness, which can cause unnecessary suffering. Instead, it encourages approaching each situation with discernment, knowing when to show compassion and when to set boundaries. Compassion versus enabling. A central concern regarding not being overly soft to everyone is the fear of lacking compassion. However, Buddhism teaches that genuine compassion does not involve enabling harmful behavior or sacrificing our own well-being. True compassion lies in recognizing the suffering of others and wishing for their relief, without turning a blind eye to destructive actions. It entails understanding the causes of suffering and striving to alleviate it through skillful means. Enabling versus compassion. Enabling often stems from a misguided sense of compassion. When we enable someone, we tolerate or support their harmful actions under the belief that we're aiding them. However, enabling can perpetuate suffering by allowing destructive patterns to persist. Buddhism teaches us to discern between genuine compassion and enabling. True compassion seeks to address the root causes of suffering, even if it entails setting boundaries or offering tough love. It's an act of wisdom and discernment, not blind softness. The Parable of the Raft. The Parable of the Raft, a renowned story from Buddhist scriptures, beautifully illustrates the concept of not being overly soft when necessary. It underscores the impermanent nature of Buddhist teachings and the importance of relinquishing them when they've served their purpose. Imagine a traveler encountering a vast river with a perilous current. In his effort to cross to the other side, he gathers logs and leaves to fashion a makeshift raft. With considerable effort, he constructs the raft and safely navigates across the river. Here lies the pivotal moment of the parable. Upon reaching the opposite shore, the traveler doesn't carry the raft with him on his journey further. He understands that while the raft served its purpose in aiding his crossing, it's no longer required on solid ground. The lesson. The parable of the raft teaches us that, like Buddhist teachings, which are akin to a raft, they serve as tools for traversing the river of suffering and ignorance. They're not meant to be clung to indefinitely. Similarly, our approach to being soft towards everyone should be adaptable and context-dependent. While softness and compassion can be beneficial in aiding others through their challenges, there are instances where excessive softness becomes a hindrance, akin to carrying the raft on dry land. In such cases, it's essential to relinquish our softness and adopt a discerning approach to guide ourselves and others towards liberation from suffering. The middle path in action. Having explored the theoretical foundations of not being overly soft in Buddhism, let's examine practical scenarios where this principle can be applied. The middle path, emphasizing balance and discernment, serves as a guiding principle in these situations. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is a prime example where the middle path is crucial. While compassion and accommodation are vital, establishing clear boundaries is equally important to safeguard our well-being and foster healthy relationships. In Buddhism, setting boundaries isn't viewed as lacking compassion, but as an act of self-preservation and wisdom. By understanding our limits and communicating them kindly yet firmly, we create an environment conducive to mutual growth and well-being for both ourselves and others. Dealing with harmful behavior. When confronted with harmful behavior from others, the middle path advocates for a response grounded in wisdom and compassion. This could involve directly addressing the behavior, offering support for positive change, or seeking professional assistance as needed. While it's crucial to avoid unnecessary harshness, it's equally important to refrain from enabling harmful actions. Balancing compassion with discernment empowers us to navigate challenging situations effectively. Navigating conflicts. Conflicts are an inevitable aspect of human interaction. The middle path advises against avoiding conflicts or suppressing our emotions, but encourages addressing them skillfully. This entails approaching conflicts with mindfulness, active listening, and a readiness to comprehend others' perspectives. Rather than being excessively soft and sidestepping conflicts to preserve surface-level harmony, the middle path urges constructive dialogue and the pursuit of resolutions fostering genuine understanding and harmony. The parable of the mustard seed, another poignant parable from Buddhist tradition shedding light on the concept of not being overly soft to everyone, is the parable of the mustard seed. This narrative illustrates the universality of suffering and the transformative influence of wisdom. The lesson, the parable of the mustard seed, underscores that suffering is an inherent facet of human existence. It emphasizes the importance of acknowledging and confronting suffering rather than evading it. Through such acknowledgement, we can cultivate wisdom and compassion, leading to heightened understanding and liberation from suffering. Loss, pain, and sorrow touch every individual's life at some point. In the context of not being overly soft to everyone, this parable serves as a reminder that softness alone cannot erase suffering. While softness may provide temporary solace, it fails to address the deeper existential questions and challenges encountered by all. Instead, the transformative potential of wisdom and understanding, as exemplified by Buddhist teachings, offers a more profound and enduring solution to the human condition. The art of skillful means. Buddhism values the use of skillful means to guide others towards enlightenment. Skillful means involve employing appropriate methods and strategies tailored to the unique needs and circumstances of individuals. In the context of not being overly soft to everyone, skillful means are vital for effective communication and compassionate guidance. Tailoring compassion. Tailoring compassion to each individual doesn't mean consistently being rigid or lacking in compassion. It requires a nuanced understanding of each person's situation and requirements. Skillful means empower us to adjust our approach to provide the right blend of support, guidance, and boundaries. Recognizing individual differences. Recognizing that each person is distinct and their paths to happiness and well-being vary is crucial. While some may benefit from a gentle and soft approach, others may need more direct and assertive guidance. Skillful means entail acknowledging these individual differences and adapting our interactions accordingly. Empathy and active listening. Skillful means also encompass active listening and empathy. By deeply comprehending the experiences and emotions of others, we can respond with greater wisdom and compassion. This approach enables us to offer meaningful support and guidance without compromising our own well-being. Embracing impermanence. Impermanence, a fundamental truth in Buddhism, teaches us that everything, including our emotions and relationships, is subject to change. Understanding impermanence is crucial in the context of not being overly soft to everyone. Emotions are transient and influenced by external factors. Reacting excessively softly or harshly to our emotions can disrupt our relationships. By acknowledging the impermanence of emotions, we can respond with equanimity and wisdom. Impermanence of relationships. Even our closest relationships are subject to impermanence. People change, circumstances shift, and relationships evolve over time. Embracing impermanence enables us to cherish each moment while also accepting the inevitability of change. Letting go. Impermanence teaches us the value of letting go. Clinging to rigid ideas of being soft to everyone is futile. Instead, we can approach relationships with openness and adaptability, allowing them to naturally progress and transform. Mindfulness and self-compassion. Mindfulness, a central practice in Buddhism, involves cultivating present moment awareness without judgment. It's invaluable for navigating the complexities of not being overly soft to everyone. Self-compassion reminds us to extend kindness to ourselves. In striving to maintain appropriate boundaries, self-care and self-compassion are essential. Being mindful of our needs and emotions helps us maintain balance and prevent burnout. Non-judgmental awareness. Mindfulness fosters non-judgmental awareness of our thoughts and emotions. When faced with challenging situations or difficult individuals, mindfulness allows us to observe our reactions without immediate judgment. This pause enables us to respond with wisdom and discernment. Cultivating equanimity. Equanimity, a Brahma Vihara in Buddhism, involves maintaining a calm and balanced mind, regardless of external circumstances. Cultivating equanimity empowers us to respond to situations with clarity and compassion, free from the sway of excessive softness or harshness. Cultivating equanimity entails maintaining mental and emotional balance amidst life's fluctuations. This quality is particularly valuable when endeavoring not to be excessively soft towards everyone, as it enables us to stay composed and compassionate in all circumstances. Throughout life's journey, we often encounter situations that challenge our understanding of compassion and softness. Buddhist teachings offer profound insights on navigating these complexities with wisdom and discernment. The middle way. As Buddha emphasized, the middle way encourages us to find equilibrium between softness and discernment. It reminds us that compassion doesn't necessarily equate to softness, and that setting boundaries is an act of wisdom rather than a lack of compassion. Walking the path of the middle way teaches us to apply skillful means in our interactions, acknowledging the individual needs and contexts of others. Embracing impermanence, recognizing the inevitability of change, and practicing letting go liberates us profoundly. Mindfulness and self-compassion. Mindfulness and self-compassion become our allies, aiding us in maintaining inner equilibrium and responding to life's trials with equanimity. It's essential to remember that not being overly soft towards everyone doesn't advocate for harshness or indifference. Rather, it invites us to embody genuine compassion rooted in wisdom, empathy, and a profound commitment to the well-being and liberation of all beings. Embracing the middle way. In embracing the middle way, we honor the timeless wisdom of Gautama Buddha and strive to foster greater peace and harmony in our lives and the world. Ultimately, it's the balance of softness and discernment that guides us to the core of genuine compassion. This compassion transcends fleeting emotions and brings enduring peace to ourselves and those around us. May we tread this path with open hearts and enlightened minds. As we embark on this journey of balance and compassion, may the teachings of wisdom guide our steps and illuminate our path. Let us continue to cultivate equanimity, mindfulness, and self-compassion, drawing upon the timeless wisdom of Gautama Buddha. Together, let's explore the depths of compassion and wisdom, and may our hearts be open to the profound truths that lead us to lasting peace and harmony. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of wisdom and compassion. Stay tuned for upcoming videos, and until next time, may your journey be filled with light and wisdom.